Good evening, everyone. I'm Sam Wright.
I'm Brian Allen. The Board of Education Standards will be making a decision in Pierre next week that could drastically change how education standards are created in South Dakota.
The fight over the proposed social studies standards has been going on for a year and a half, and soon it could be over. Cooper Seamer joining us in studio with our top story at 6 o'clock. Hey, Cooper.
Brian and Sam, with that final meeting coming up on Monday, much of the concerns and points of contention of the proposed standards are still being talked about at schools across the state. We spoke with two members of the Standards Revision Commission about those concerns and their two different opinions.
And the South Dakota
Samantha Walder is no stranger to helping write education standards. The 15-year educator, president of the State Elementary Principals Association, and the most recent State National Distinguished Principal Award winner, helped write the current English language arts standards used in the state. And when she was asked to be a member of the latest Social Studies Standards Revision Commission, she was eager to start.
I absolutely accepted because I wanted to be able to be part of this process and voice those concerns and have the opportunity to share what my knowledge was and my background.
Walder, though, ended up being the only elementary educator on the 15-member committee. That only included 3 current educators total. The smaller number of committee members, though, was a benefit, according to state historian Ben Jones, who also served on the commission.
Because it was small, we could talk about every line, every letter, and walk through the thing as a holistic body of work.
Walder says past the concerns of age-appropriate content and the source of what's being proposed is the shift in how the standards instruct educators and schools to teach social studies.
Standards are not curriculum. Curriculum are not assignments, and assignments are chosen by local teachers.
She says not only is there much more content that students will be expected to know, the specific items required in the proposal take away any local control from school boards that buy curriculum and help teachers build lesson plans best suited for their communities.
And our local school boards, our local superintendents and principals, we hold teachers accountable to whatever those curriculum goals are that we choose, and our local school boards do a good job of doing that.
Jones disagrees with that concern, stating that teachers still have control with what is taught in their classrooms.
He or she still has all the authority to do as they've done before, depending on how their school district ran that, whether it's done with the curriculum director or principal or the teacher in the classroom.
He agrees that the standards are a major shift in what's been asked of South Dakota students in the past, but says it's better for every student.
If they have a mixed class of students who are doing really well and some are struggling, they can modulate that as they need to. If they're all struggling with something that's brand new, they can determine the level of knowledge that's appropriate for their students.
Walder says she also has concerns that the proposed document may violate South Dakota law and is only getting around it by being called standards.
The conversation at the Board of Educational Standards should not be about a classical curriculum or a specific methodology of instruction. It's actually specifically outlined in state law that they're not allowed to do so.
The standards are opposed by every parent organization of the School Administrators of South Dakota, the South Dakota Education Association, and all 9 tribes in the state. Over 900 formal public comments have been submitted opposing the standards. Walder says if the Board of Education Standards chooses to adopt the proposed standards, it would be going against the local control that South Dakota has enshrined for over 125 years.
And I don't want to change that by just pushing through social studies standards that, again, read so much like a curriculum.
Walder says what they'd rather see from the Board of Education Standards is to instead vote to revisit the standards from July of 2021, or even yet still vote down the proposed standards and bring together both work groups from 2021 and 2022 to try and find a compromise. Brian and Sam.
Cooper Seamer with our 6 o'clock top story tonight. Cooper, thanks.